want to talk more about your process, and I want to go back and I want to learn about that PhD that you got. But before we move on here from the Wolf's Curse, I always try to do this show as I imagine if I were going to be on a show and be interviewed, what would I hope the guest might ask me, or I'm sorry, the host might ask me, that would set me up. And I always would like to have kind of a blank spot available, so that if there's a question that I haven't asked, something that you about this book that you'd like to talk about, this is that spot. What's a question that you wish I or somebody else would have asked you about this book?
You know, I think one thing that's really important to communicate about this book, we've been talking a lot about death and grief, and it's definitely a twist on the Grim Reaper mythology, but I don't want that to scare readers away. I definitely tackle that head on, but at the same time, this story is really a lot of fun. There's a snarky wolf, it's fast-paced, there's a lot of adventure. So if you have a reader that's not quite ready for the deeper themes, I think there's also space for a younger reader to appreciate this story, because I think that they'll take from the story what they need and want from it. And then the readers who are older and more mature and looking for the darker, heavier themes will also find that in the pages of the story.
The wolf is very funny at times. Lots of amusing, snarky observations throughout.
Mm-hmm.
When did you, or how did you decide when it was appropriate for a bit of snark and for a good laugh to undercut some of that seriousness without completely undercutting the themes that you're going for, without taking away from the seriousness of death? How did you find that balance?
That balance came very organically for me. The wolf's voice really drove this story. I pretty much just felt like I was channeling what the wolf had to say. So on the first draft, I just let it all out. There was some going back and saying, okay, that's maybe not quite appropriate here. There were a few times where I moved things around, so some of what she had to say came later in the story, but it pretty much is all on the page like it came out in that initial draft as far as the wolf's voice is concerned.